You won't believe what Speaker Mike Johnson had to say yesterday about who controls government.
The Democrats are required to open the government. They keep saying Republicans are in charge of government. We aren't, not in the Senate. 60 votes control the Senate, not a bare majority. And so point number one, Democrat votes are required to open the government.
How many times must we tell you that Republican, MAGA, they have a majority in the House, they have a majority in the Senate, they have the presidency of the United States, and they have a majority in the Supreme Court. They control all of the federal government. And I would even argue that they control most of the state legislatures and governorships throughout the country. MAGA controls government. Now, he said it takes 60 votes in the Senate to pass any kind of legislation. That is true in a sense. It takes 60 votes to stop debate, to move on to the final vote. So if you have majority in the Senate, but you cannot get past debate, what you must do is go to the minority party and negotiate with them on what needs to be in the legislation so you can move past debate and go to the actual vote. When it comes to the actual vote, you only need a majority, 50 plus 1. And J.D. Vance will be the tiebreaker if it's 50-50. But to get there, you have to negotiate with the minority party. That's a republic. In a democracy, majority rule. In a republic, majority rule, but you cannot forget the minority. That's why it takes a certain amount of votes to get stuff passed. That's the essence of being a republic. The same thing that MAGA loves, right? A republic. So when it comes to the shutdown, what they did was in the House, a democracy in the House, they passed whatever the fuck they wanted to pass. We're going to get this through. Shut up, Democrats. We're just going to run it through. They got one vote in the House and call it bipartisan. It goes to the Senate. The bill that Mike Johnson has in the Senate has the majority, but because they won't negotiate, Democrats will not agree to it. And the reason why they won't agree to what the House passed, if the Senate change it, it's got to go back to the House to get voted on. And the House won't negotiate. So the Senate has the bill. It has to pass as is. Republicans need to sit down with Democrats, negotiate what's in that bill, and pass it. If it needs to change, it got to go back to the House. And then the House got to vote on it, but he don't have 218 votes to get anything passed in the House because it's too far right in the House. Democrats do not control this. Republicans do. Go sit y'all ass down with the Democrats and say, okay, you guys are mostly concerned about health care benefits, the subsidies. We will make them permanent. Oh, by the way, you can't make them permanent because if you do, you got to find 1.5 trillion more dollars on top of the 1.5 trillion that you just gave to the rich by stealing from Medicaid and Medicare. So if you put the 1.5 trillion dollars back in Obamacare, now you have added 1.5 trillion dollars more on top of the 2 trillion that you already put on the deficit. That's why that's why MAGA won't negotiate the health care. Again, if they put their $1.5 trillion back, they got to find a way to pay for it. And they can't because they gave it to the rich. That's why the government shut down. Republicans don't want to negotiate. They just telling Democrats, pass what the fuck we got, and then let's talk. If you do that, you're giving up your position. If I'm selling a car, and I tell you, hey, I will replace your alternator and your muffler. I'll replace it. I'll replace your catalytic converters. I'll replace it all. But I want you to buy the car first. Then I'll replace it. Would you do it? Hell no, you wouldn't do it. You would tell me, replace the shit now, then I'll buy it. And that's what Republicans are telling Democrats. They're saying, vote on what we have now, then we'll talk about fixing the $1.5 trillion we stole from Medicaid and Medicare. So once again, who is responsible for the government shutdown? What do you think?